Hello, I am Lisa J. Stocks. Thank you for tuning in for this week's Stock Talk. And we're going to be talking about some recent headlines from this week and maybe a bonus topic. I will see how much time I have. So, guys, thank you for tuning in. Make sure to like, if you're not already, subscribe and hit that notification bell. So, let's start off by talking about some headlines from this week. Nvidia and Intel. Intel's stock price went from $24 to $31 in a day. They're up 21% on the week. And what's going on with them? So, Nvidia, I don't even have my lights on. Give me a second. Give me 1 second. I'm wondering why it's so dark. Okay, that's better. Sorry about that. I did that the other day too. I have to get up here earlier. So Nvidia and Intel. Nvidia has invested $5 billion and partnered with Intel. And so that led to their stock price jumping up this week. Well, last week. This is a recap of some headlines from last week. So Intel had been struggling, and this partnership is a great boost for them. Nvidia is the leader when it comes to AI and all of these things, but betting on Intel has actually, it shows that they are credible and a serious contender, and it shows that their belief of Nvidia in that company. Now, Intel is not ever going to probably catch up to Nvidia, but these partnerships gives them and all of that influx of all of that money gives them breathing room and the opportunity to grow. And so that led to this huge bounce back. Now, when these news catalysts, these headlines, these things happen, the stock price, really takes off suddenly, but then it cools off, and it could be a great opportunity for those of us that option trade, but also, if it's something that you want to add to your portfolio for the long run, it is an opportunity. Nora, did you see the message that I sent you on your post? Let me know. So that was one big headline that I saw this week. Are you saying yes to me, Nora? I need more than that. Let me know. Give me 1 second. Now, another headline was with Microsoft, and they've been pushing hard with AI like all of these companies. AI is what is really making them relevant and making sure that they are hitting these marks of being able to move up to $3 trillion, $4 trillion. And with them, this past week, something that caught my eye, I'll get into in a second, but Microsoft, they haven't been shy about, showing how good the company is doing, but at the same time, they're raising the price of the Xbox consoles. I just posted to my community wall a couple of prices of the things that I am touching on today, as well as it's 95 days till Christmas. I know we don't all celebrate Christmas, but anything that you might have going on towards the end of the year, it's coming up. And so if you need to get financially ready for it, I like to give those little reminders, a little countdown. We should have been saving earlier, but you still have 95 days in order to save a little bit and be on track for any expenses that you might have at the end of the year. But let's see. Thank you, Vincent, for that super chat and all of the support that you give this channel all of the time. I appreciate you. Nora, I'm going to send you something on IG. I'm going to need a second to get that. And
Thank you so much. We do greatly appreciate it.
let me take a quick second to do that. I have to go over to, I should have sent it to you just in case before I got started, but I didn't. So yes, Microsoft. Now, this is a position, a slightly, not that the price matters, but a slightly more expensive, over $500 per share, and a newer addition to my portfolio. I haven't been working on this one for, 4 years, going back a while. So I only have 3.6 shares right now, and I'm up 16%, but definitely a company that I want to have exposure to. And I think because this company is doing so well and they recently increased their prices, it's kind of a disappointment to gamers and just in general that they're raising their prices again. So I included that in my post of what that's looking like right now. Of course, when you want to do something quickly, then you can't seem to find the buttons. Next up, let's talk about Google, and they're hitting one of those milestones that I was talking about, pushing back up to that $3 trillion mark. And that puts them up there, like the leading largest companies in the US, Nvidia, but Google, Microsoft, Apple are right there. And most likely from time to time, they switch spots as to who is the leader when it comes to the largest market cap as far as US companies. And these are all individual companies that I hold in my portfolio for extra added exposure and growth. And let me just touch on that. I just have to send a quick message. So I think I'm known for being a ETF and a fund investor, but I do incorporate those individual stocks. Now, if you haven't been here before, I kind of do a little bit of it all with choosing those individual stocks, options trading, regular trading of shares, but also incorporating ETFs. But I am a long-term investor, overall a buy and hold investor, small percentage, much more of an investor than a trader. And when it comes to my portfolio and my investments, yes, I invest into like funds that give you exposure to the total stock market and the S&P 500, for example. Now, in my portfolio, we all have a different starting place from when we start investing. And what I'm talking about today is mostly my taxable accounts that I've been working on for the last few years, not my retirement accounts. But it's pretty much the same structure over there too. So my ETFs, those foundational investments, I'm up, say, 40 to 50% when it comes to those. But the additional exposure that I get by incorporating individual stocks gives me some extra added growth, like my Microsoft. Like I said, that's a newer one. I'm only up 16%. But now Google, which I just started to talk about, I'm up 94%. And I'm glad that I gave that position attention back when it was like $160. I think now my average is pretty low, but let's take a quick look at what Google's current stock price is. It's up to $254.72. So over the last month, it's up 27.52%. So with the recent headlines and, a little bit of easing of the pressure and the thought of them having to break up their company due to being a monopoly, it has really helped their share price to start to thrive. But still, a company that, as a long-term investor, a buy and hold investor, I don't like to rebalance and change things often. So definitely still a company that I'm comfortable with holding long term and not having to worry about having to change out anything there. So, guys, what's everyone buying or selling? Hey, Eddie, thanks for tuning in. Joe, Andrea, Geeky Girl, Rod, thank you everyone that's tuned in so far, and thanks for chatting. Pipeline. So Nora's popping up with me for a little bit. Nora, the Stock Explorer, let me add her to the stage. Hey, Nora. I can't hear you, Nora. I still can't hear you, Nora. Are you muted? Am I doing something wrong here? Let me see. My volume is up. Oh, I think I'm about to hear you. No, I heard a little. Yeah, I'm not hearing you, Nora. I don't think it's anything on my end. What's up?
Check.
Okay. Yep, there you go. There you go.
Oh, you hear me? Okay, great.
Yeah, I hear you now. How are you today?
I'm good. I was just out running my errands today. This was a great week. It was great to see Intel pop up. That was a big surprise. I had two options for Intel that I grabbed in March, and I didn't know if they were going to, they're leap options, but, they were just not moving. And then all of a sudden, the Nvidia news came out and it popped up, and it's went down a little bit since then, but I'm going to hold it and see what it does. You got to let your winners ride. Sometimes you got to just let them go, So I'm having faith and seeing what happens with Intel. I always thought that was a good opportunity to get some shares of Intel, because just with all the AI and everything going on, Nvidia can't make everything. They're going to have to lean on AMD. They're going to have to lean on Intel. Fill that demand, in my opinion. And I always thought that was a good stock to grab. So shout out to Catching Rockets. Shout out to Keenan Grace University, KGU.
Nora.
Very blessed to have been connected with Keenan through you. So thank you for that.
Oh, well,
it's definitely, been a great Discord to be a part of. A lot of great trade call outs in there. Well worth the money, guys. So yeah.
And okay. I did not ask Nora to say any of that, but I do have an affiliate link if you are interested. Go ahead and take a look at that. 100%. Nora, do you mind sharing what the date was, what the date is? Because you said you haven't let it go. And could you just quickly, for those who don't know, let them know what a leap option, like the time frame is?
So a leap is basically when you buy an option that expires basically next year or even further. You can even buy them 2 years out. It gives the option a long time to play out. There's something called data decay, which is a slow drip of poison that takes money away from the option for as long as you own it each day, until it takes off. But when it does take off, it takes off in a big way. But the leap will give you more time for it to play out. Let me look on my I use Robinhood to trade options, by the way, not sponsored or anything. I just find it easy to use Robinhood. But so my Intel call option was a $30 call, and it expires January 15th of 2027. So that and I had 2 of them. I wish I had bought more, of course, but they weren't even expensive when I bought them, because Intel wasn't even moving at the time. It was more of a speculative thing, okay, where do I think this is going in a year type of thing. I heard Rockets mention it, Catching Rockets channel, and I say, you know what, I agree with that. Sometimes when I take option trades, I take them because I agree, with the person that shares it. And if you believe in their technical analysis and their knowledge, then you feel confident, to copy trade. Although I don't copy trade too often, occasionally I will. I'll say, you know what, that sounds like a great idea.
Man, I think I'm one to keep my stop loss tight, and I probably would have let my Intel contracts go
Yeah, yeah,
that day when that news came out about that five
yeah.
billion dollar.
Honestly, I should have maybe sold one of them because it was really running. But
Yeah.
I still have them, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. Should be interesting to see what
Okay.
happens with those.
Okay, so guys, just to let you know, at the beginning, one of the first topics I talked about was Intel and Nvidia, and Nvidia has a $5 billion partnership with Intel that was announced a few days ago. Nora was already holding two Intel options contracts dated out to 2027. So she sees how much her contracts have gone up since that news came out.
Yeah,
And not knowing, obviously when she purchased those months back already, you didn't know that that was going to happen. But yeah,
right.
a company that you just had on your radar and thought that potentially, they could be something like this could come up in the future. Okay.
Another, I don't know if you want me to share some of the ideas I have, but another one is Uber. Since Lyft came out with their news that they're partnering with Waymo, I can just imagine that Uber's going to have to, they're going to have to come out with some sort of news soon to kind of stay on par with their competitor. So I did grab a Uber call, and I'm hoping that might run when Uber comes out with their news. If they don't, that'll be too bad. But I imagine they're going to have to come out with some sort of partnership news to stay, just to be competitive.
Okay.
So, yeah.
If you didn't know, Waymo is related to Google and their driverless vehicles. And Google is the company that I was just touching on now. Is Google a investment that you hold just regular shares of for the long term in your portfolio?
I do, but I hold them like within a mutual fund, not. I haven't actually, picked Google, but I think it's a good stock to pick. I mean, they own YouTube. You can't deny, but yeah, it's cool because I saw a Waymo car driving around like last week, and it's so neat to see them going by. You see the little weird things they got spinning on the outside. They're very eye-catching, very unique looking. And I was wondering what it was doing because it had a driver, so I wasn't sure what was going on. But that was before the news dropped, and I was like, oh, okay, they might be.
And that's down in Florida?
Yeah, they might be testing something out, but I did see like one of those Waymo vehicles. They're not really big here yet, but I imagine they're going to be. They're definitely, you're going to see more and more of them. You're going to see more Tesla robo-taxis as we move forward.
Let me take a second to acknowledge a Brilliance Blessing. Thank you for that super chat.
Thank you, guys. And shout out to everybody in the chat.
And thank you to Joe for being a mod and channel member for 13 months. I appreciate you. Okay. So I've already touched on anything going on with you, and any thoughts on Microsoft? That's another company I was talking about before you came up, before we move on to.
I like Microsoft a lot. I have not traded Microsoft in a while, but I have traded Microsoft. I don't really have too much to say about them other than, they'll just steadily go up. But I haven't traded Microsoft in a while. But yeah, I'm sure. Are you trading or are you just collecting shares of Microsoft?
I don't think I've ever done an option contract on Microsoft. Not that I recall, but yeah, most of the time I trade SPY. I mean, I do trade some individual companies, but maybe Tesla,
Yeah.
Nvidia. There are other, even Apple. There are a lot of other companies that come to my mind that I know that I've traded more.
You're more for, I don't always, I'll be honest, I don't always watch Microsoft. And when I'm trading a stock, yeah, the last time I traded Microsoft was July of 2024. So it's been a while.
Mhm, mhm.
But I like to trade the stocks that I feel more familiar with, the ones that I watch every day. Um, Tesla can be pretty lucrative to trade, but it can also lose you a lot of money. But I like trading Tesla. I've said a couple times I'm not going to trade Tesla again because when Elon would get on TV and say polarizing things, it would just mess the stock up so much, and I'd be like, oh my god, I know better. Why would I touch Tesla? But when it runs, it really, really runs. So it's always tempting, to grab
Mhm.
an option on Tesla. The worst stock that I have tried to trade options with that I just can't figure out is AMD. AMD is so tricky. I don't know why, but AMD is so tricky. I really thought AMD was going to be running by now, and it's just kind of gone flat again. So I'm not sure.
So have you been really doing more leaps than uh, same day or a
No,
couple?
no, no. I don't. I try to stay away from same day unless I'm trading the SPY. If
Okay.
the, unless I listen to Rockets and like he does all the levels and I
Mhm.
feel confident, I might day trade SPY. But just recently, I started to grab leaps just to give myself more wiggle room, more room for error, so to speak. I think it's not a bad idea to grab leaps. They are expensive. That's the thing, and you have to realize you're going to tie that money up for quite a while. But
Yeah.
most likely, they will be profitable. You have to have patience, which is a hard thing, I guess, to learn when you're a trader. Patience and just learning to take a loss is probably the two hardest things to learn as a trader. Once you realize losing is part of the game, then it's that as long as you win more than you lose, you're fine. But a lot of people they are not good at taking that loss, and you have to be okay with that. You have to be unemotional about it, and it's
Yeah.
hard. It's hard not to be emotional when you see money that you put down, going away. You can't be emotional because you have to realize when your winners run, you're going to make up for that. You know,
Okay. So
so
with the Intel, I know you said it's out to 2027 and that you're. So did you, now that you are sure that you are in profit, did you put a stop loss on now? Are you going to trail it up? What are you doing? I know you're not big with using your
I
stop.
have, I have, I have, I have some bad news this year. I I generally don't set stop losses. And
I
I
knew
know
this
that's
about you.
horrible. I know that's horrible.
But with this one, I wanted to ask because I know that you are in profit. So even with
Yeah,
that, you didn't
yeah,
go?
yeah. It. I was good to go on that, but yeah, I
Not
have
yet.
a real bad habit of just not setting stop losses, just because the stock market loves to tap people out. They love to drop a stock
Yeah.
down low one day and just hit everybody's stop losses and tag you out. And that avoids that, but it also puts me at risk for big
But
losses. But unfortunately, I generally don't set stop losses, and that's really bad advice, guys. Set stop losses. Don't
okay.
do that. But a lot of times I don't.
All
Um,
right. Well, I was gonna think on this one. Maybe you
yeah,
said
don't
it
listen to
because
Nora
you were.
on that one. Set stop losses. Learn how to do it because, yeah, that's not a good idea.
All right. So Nora is someone who knows her charts. So, but she's also endorsing what I do, what I always say. And with me, I always put my stop loss on as soon as I get into a contract. Even if it is something that I am leaving a little bit of, more flexibility than normal. This is something out to 2027. So you have lots of time on this one, but
Yeah.
still I'm telling you, I probably would have been out of it, even though it's 2027. I would have said, "Oh, let me just take my profits and move on
Yeah.
to something else."
The day it ran, I think I was up. Yeah, I was up a good amount. I was up almost say like $800 maybe, and I just left it alone. It was
Yeah.
tempting. It was
Uh-huh.
tempting to just be like cash out,
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, man, I'm going to kick myself if more good news comes out and it
Yeah.
just goes to like say 40 or more. I'm just going to see where it goes from here.
Yeah,
And
you
like I
have
said,
time. You have time. But
yeah,
yeah, I think I would have at least put something to make sure that I captured most of those
yeah,
gains.
yeah,
If it does start to come down. But then, in a year from now or in 6 months from now, I won't say a year, but say 6 months from now, you could potentially be more up in profit. So I saw in the news recently updates from Robinhood that they potentially could have. You're probably not even that interested in this. A stop loss that will work overnight. Have you seen that?
Oh no, I have. I know they're adding more features and they're doing very well. Their stock price has been steadily going up.
Yeah.
It's actually a decent stock to have. No, I haven't heard about that. I think it's interesting that they let you bet on the sports now, which I was looking at a little earlier. They let you bet on like football scores and different boxing matches and different things like that. So they're kind of getting sort of like DraftKings a little bit, where you can go on
Yeah.
Robinhood and place a bet. So I haven't tried it. I might try it just to kind of familiarize myself, but I don't bet on sports. But I
Yeah,
think
I don't either. I think it's I'm sorry. I don't do that either, but I
no,
think it's my crypto.com. I have a small account there.
yeah,
And yeah, they're mixing that sports betting with
yeah.
on the crypto investing app. And yeah,
Oh wow. Okay.
I don't see the need for it.
No.
But I'm gonna turn off those alerts. It's not an app that I need to be having alerts on for right now. Because
Yeah.
I usually do all of my alerts through Webull, no matter where I invest or where I'm going to be. I just have all of my alerts set
Yeah.
there.
They'll send
And
you.
so
Yeah.
I know where to go where if I'm holding something that I might need to adjust or I want to, buy more of or whatever. So I can turn that one off. But just
Smart.
something I added to the mix in case there was at one point I thought I need to have flexibility and if some new crypto comes out that's not, on the main platforms yet.
Right?
But I really haven't dabbled into that. I haven't had the need for it.
Same
Uh,
here. I don't touch the like super new cryptos, although I seen like is it Larry Jones? I think he does it, and Stockmo and those guys, and they do very well. But I just don't know enough about it. I'm not really a crypto person. I'm more a stock. So
yeah.
you have to know your wheelhouse. It's interesting. There is money to be made. I just have not. I don't know enough about it to feel confident enough to pull my money in that direction, but I know you can do well, especially when they first come out. They seem to rally for a while, and you can get in and out and make some money. But
Yeah, I haven't been doing any trades there. Mostly, just buy and hold when it comes to my
yeah,
crypto too.
you're mostly buy and hold. What percentage of the time do you think would you say you trade? Like, is it just here and there, or is it every week?
It's every week,
Oh,
but it's not. It could be just one same day or next day contract. It's not always that I'm holding leaps options and things like that. Like you said, they
yeah,
can be expensive and the potential of tying up the money for
yeah,
months is another thing that I have to, weigh if that fits into what I'm doing right now.
right.
Let me just take a second to acknowledge the chat again. Thank you, Kevin, for tuning in. Thank you, Chandra, for being a channel member and tuning in. Please
Nice.
feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or anything. I don't think we've ever had a chance to chat in person, Sandra. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name quite right. Please excuse me because like I said, we haven't spoken. Yeah, let's see.
I did
Green
share you
thumb.
out, so you may have a couple of my people in here
Oh, okay.
potentially. So yeah, it's good to mix it up. Some of my friends do, they do lottery, they do gambling and things like that. This stock trading is more hands on. It's more you have more. I guess you have more control over it once you learn it. So I'm always going to prefer if I'm going to risk money, I'm always going to prefer doing it with my stocks rather than with any type of gambling, because the knowledge does give you that, it does give you an edge, but it's good. I do my tickets, my scratch tickets occasionally on my channel, but I do them more for entertainment purposes. But as far as making money, I will trade stocks all day long. That's your best. Once you learn the skill, you have it for a lifetime, but you always have to keep learning. You never know everything. It's always evolving. You learn every single day.
Yes. Okay, so one other company that I was about to talk about or had planned to talk about before you popped up is Meta. Have you seen those new glasses that
I
came
love
out?
it. I'd love a pair. It's on my bucket list because
Oh,
I think
really?
I'd have a lot of fun wearing them, and making videos with them and everything. It's definitely something that I'd like to get at some point.
Okay.
They look
So,
amazing. They look like a lot of fun, and I actually got a chance to try a pair on. I met a guy that had them, and he let me put them on, and the sound is incredible. It comes through like the arms of the glasses, and you can hear it really well through them. You can listen to your radio through them. They're really, really cool. I think they're about $400.
no, I have it down as 799.
Oh no, they went up in price. Oh my
I
god.
just So I posted the updated prices for
Oh
that
no.
as
I
well
looked at them last year. They've gone up a lot then, because when I was
as
looking at them, they were like about 400. Wow.
yeah, yeah.
Now I better get a pair before they go up again. Holy goats. Wow. Okay. Okay. No, really, they were like about 400 on sale, of course. That was a sale
Yeah.
price, but
Yeah.
dang, I should have went and got them.
Chandra is sharing that she has them. She loves them. She wants the ones with the display. So yeah, I don't know I don't know the details of what the last version had versus this one, but I posted that as well as the Xbox new pricing on my community wall right before I started the show. But
Okay.
yeah. So the Ray-Bans are $799, and they have, I have a few notes here. They have AI features, camera.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just basically wearable technology, and that's from Meta. And Meta is the parent of YouTube, Threads, and IG, and all of that. So another company that investors are thrilled to see these things going on with. It makes the stock exciting, but that's one that's been a little bit unpredictable the way that it moves.
Yeah.
And a smaller position in my portfolio too. That one I only have 2 shares. I was trying to catch it when it was at those lower prices, but really one that has pushed up. But
Yeah.
still, I'm up 50%. And I was talking a little bit about how my ETFs, I balance it off by getting additional growth from exposure to these individual companies like we're touching on today.
Right.
So like with your portfolio, do you keep a portfolio on Robinhood, or is it just like for trading?
I do have a few stocks on Robinhood. I could tell you what stocks I actually hold that I think it's primarily a trading account, but I do have some shares that I bought and just hung on to that happen to be on my Robinhood account, and I'll tell you those in a second. I have 15 shares of DraftKings. I have 15 shares of AMD. I have a stock called Vuzi, VUZI, which I've made a video about, which has so much potential. Think of like meta glasses, but for industry, for the workplace. If you want to research into that, it's still a penny stock. It's only $2.56. It's called Vuzix.
Okay.
That's the stock here, Vuzix. I have 150 shares of that. I have 5 shares of Pfizer, 35 shares of Intel. I have 5 shares of Nike. I have 120 shares of a stock called Rig, which is an oil drilling stock, which has not really taken off, but I'm holding it. one share of Tesla, which I've made $100 on in 1 month, guys, which is crazy. But I bought one share a month ago, and it's gone up $104, which is insane. 5 shares of Rigetti Computing, which is just up a little, but I think has a lot of potential. I have shares of a company I work for, which I'm not allowed to talk about on YouTube. I have a micro share of United Healthcare, which I got for someone using my affiliate link, and I have 3 shares of DoorDash, and that's it.
Okay, that's a variety. So you keep the basics over in your IRA or your in the retirement account, because that was
but mostly I invest through work. I've had other mutual funds that I've had since maybe since I was in my early 20s that I've held on to. So I'm exposed to a lot of the S&P 500, but mostly through mutual funds and things of that nature. I do love stock picking, though. I love trading stocks. I love talking about stocks. I love picking my own stocks. So can't help myself.
Okay. So that Rigetti, that one, see, these are things that I would have had a stop loss on, and I would have been kicked.
Like,
Rigetti, I think it went down to it's $28.52 right now.
Okay.
But it's gone down all over the place. $7.
It's all over. It's very volatile right now.
Yeah, I'm looking at a year range on Rigetti, and last November 2024, it was $1.23.
Wow!
Right now,
amazing. Wow!
Right now, it's $28.52.
Oh my God!
But I'm a person that say, how much would I be willing to put in when it was $1, and at what point then it goes up to $19, and then it's down to below $8, and that's one I wouldn't be able to put enough into it to really reap the rewards, because I wouldn't just patiently let it go fluctuate that much to get back up to the $28. So that one would have been a trade, and I would have been kicked long ago. Maybe if I would have had to get into it.
Lisa, this is going to be fun to look at a year from now, and we can see the prices of how things moved like a year from this live stream. And just see, sometimes you look back at your older videos and you're like, oh my God, I should have taken my own advice, like with what was it with Palantir? I should have just loaded the boat with Palantir. I knew Palantir was the winner back when it was like $20, and then you just buy a little bit of it. But man, so many of these videos remind me of like, oh my God, what was I thinking back then? I should have just went all in. Now, but you have to be careful. You don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah. Palantir is one that I've never held as an investment. And I remember, I think it was probably around this time last year, maybe a little earlier, someone making comments of, I'm not buying Palantir at $60 or $70. Right now, it's $182.
Oh my God.
So, I was like, what do you think it's going to come back down to $40 for you? So that person,
you missed the train, but like they say, there's always another train coming in a couple minutes. That's how you have to look at trading. There's always opportunities. You have to stay informed. I have my favorite YouTubers. You're one of them. That I stay informed by watching your videos. I don't want to, name off a whole list, but I have my favorites, and you can check my community post to see who my favorites are, as you guys already, can probably guess. And I just try to stay informed, and they'll tell you when that next train is coming, because they're going to give you a heads up. Keenan's definitely great at that. Like, hey, watch this stock. It's $6 now, and then it takes off. But especially with AI, there's always baby AI companies coming out that you can risk it for the biscuit with,
well,
as they say.
Yeah, I am more of a investor than a
More
trader. But I'm
conservative.
okay.
Yeah,
I'm okay with the trades, but
right.
I can't. I have to make sure that I limit my risk because
Yeah.
I don't want to get stuck diamond handing something and
Diamond Flag, I haven't heard that since the AMC craze. Diamond, remember that guy's diamond hands? Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chandra's highlighting another thing that Robinhood is making a change to, and it's having multiple portfolios on Robinhood. Which might
Interesting.
be of it. Yeah, there was a
An option. Hang on one second, Lisa. I gotta plug my computer in. It's not plugged in.
oh,
Give me
you
one.
get battery dying over there, Nora?
Yeah, I'm over here with the about to have a dead battery.
Okay.
Let me plug that in.
Okay. Hey Anthony, thank you for tuning in. And let's see. Guys, drop any questions that you have. So we were just touching on some headlines from different companies. We touched on
There we go.
Intel and Nvidia's investment into Intel. Nora was sharing a little bit about a leap option she has 2027 on Intel and how that was doing, talking about Microsoft, Google, and we just wrapped up a little bit on Meta. So
Meta is what I've heard one big YouTuber call his dark horse. I think he's right. It's got so much room to run as we move into the age of AI. It probably is a great stock to just buy now, and yeah, hang on to it because it could really run.
yeah, it's one that I wish I had put more attention
Yeah,
into when it was in the 500s
yeah.
because yeah, it
Yeah, when
really
they changed names, when it went from like, what was it, Facebook to Meta, that probably would have been the time to load up, you know.
But
Yeah,
I mean,
crazy.
not to say the other. I had other focus. Where I
Right.
was putting my money, it's those places are still looking good because I was working on like Amazon and
Oh yeah,
Apple and other things at that time. My radar wasn't on Meta until later, a bit later on. But it is what it is. I have a little bit now, and anytime there is a pullback, I will can add. It's not over yet.
no, no, it's just beginning, guys.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And so another thing I want to touch on is the Fed rate cuts.
Mhm.
So we finally had that cut, and this is going to make borrowing costs cheaper. Businesses can invest more.
Mhm.
I saw in the news that they're already trying to get in contact with their bank to refinance and find out what's going on with their home loans.
Okay.
And I don't know. I'm not in I'm not in their shoes. Thankfully, I do have more than one mortgage, but they are at like the 3% around there
Wow.
because I got that taken care of when the rates were low.
Sweet.
So,
It's hard to
um,
beat that 3%. Wow.
yeah, and I understand like we finally had a cut,
Hmm.
but I don't know what I would do. Would you hold out for another cut before you refinance, or would you be ready to jump in there and as soon as, right now, first for at this cut, would you be looking to refinance if you were in
I think
those people's shoes?
I think I'd wait on the next one. Yeah, I think there's another one could probably come in not too long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I know that they're the
It's
people
tempting.
and
Yeah.
they're wanting to ease that situation if they're
Oh
all the way up at 7% or I don't know how high they even got.
yeah.
I
Hmm.
haven't been I've been open to still, potentially finding a property, but between the lack of inventory and those rates, yeah, it's
Yeah.
just I haven't been putting much focus and attention into even looking at times.
I think prices are still a bit high, as far as real estate is considered. I would wait.
Mhm.
You want to wait till that housing crash, but that may never happen. But that's ideally what you would want to wait for. It still seems like it's houses are pricey.
Yeah, I don't know if there'll ever be a crash big enough to help
Yeah,
me
yeah,
at
no,
this
probably
point.
not. probably not, you know. Yeah, hi to everybody in the chat. By the way, I can't see the chat right now, but hello to everybody in this chat. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up for Lisa.
Thank you, Nora. Why can't you see the chat, Nora? You can't
Yeah, on StreamYard when you're a guest, it doesn't really.
Oh yeah, I think I had that situation. That's why I was watching on my phone the other day when I was on with Marlene. But yeah, those are pretty much the companies that I wanted to touch on today.
Yeah.
Your green thumb. You have no idea what they saying. I'm new and have no idea what I'm doing. I have a portfolio on Moomoo.
Oh, cool. That's good. Hey, you're ahead of a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people are scared to even get a broker or pick a broker. So you're already way ahead of the game, and you just watch. Like I said, you don't have to pay big money to learn. A lot of information is free on YouTube. So don't be intimidated. Just go crazy and watch a bunch of videos on YouTube, guys. There's so many good YouTubers that break everything down for free. Don't get scammed by buying like super expensive courses and stuff like that, you know.
Well, my recommendation is I know this show I've talked all about, Microsoft and Google and all individual companies, but as a beginner, I would say you start off with a fund and that gives you, a low cost fund. SPLG is one. It'll give you exposure to the S&P 500. Low expense ratio. You're going to get a quarterly dividend coming in. You can set that to get reinvested right back into buying more shares for you.
Oh, yeah.
And, that could be a start. And then if you want to, as you gain a little bit more knowledge, mix in some individual companies, you can go from there. But I definitely, like Nora said, I have videos on how to choose an S&P 500 investment that's right for you and things like that. But yeah, you don't have to pick individual stocks and then wonder how much Intel should I buy and how much Nvidia and how much this, that, and the other. These funds have that built in for you. They give you a little piece of all of that, and they're going to rebalance automatically. If a company's
They do. They drop companies and add companies all the time to make sure there is that balance. And you really can't go wrong.
Have you looked at SPMO at all? Are you familiar with that?
No, I haven't. I'm not familiar with that.
Okay.
Is that an ETF or?
Yeah, it's a momentum S&P 500 momentum ETF.
I wanted to check that out. No, I have not checked that one out yet.
Okay. Yeah, me and Nora, I didn't tell Nora what the topic was or anything.
No, I didn't know I was going to be up here, guys.
She just popped up on a last second request. So I saw she seemed like she wasn't busy.
Yeah, I was out riding around with my dog like I do almost every day in my car, and I just went to get my coffee, and I watch YouTube. I watch a lot of YouTube on Sunday, and I want to watch the Eagles game when that comes on. And I really didn't have plans, and this was definitely a treat to be invited up. Lisa's one of the best guys, so yeah, definitely much respect to Lisa J. She's very consistent and reliable, guys. She's not going to steer you wrong, so you really can't go too wrong.
Thank you, Nora. Consistent and reliable. That sounds like a boring person.
I'm risky, though. Don't copy everything I do. But they always put like, this is not financial, that whole disclaimer, because I share my trades, but that doesn't mean you should jump in. But you're welcome to copy me if you want, but you definitely have to weigh your own financial situation as your very own. It's not my financial situation, so you have to weigh everything out. And like I say, you can always just buy shares of something. You don't have to jump into options trading, if you're scared to grab those options. But options trading is a lot of fun, especially when you're profitable with it. It's really exciting to trade options. But start with the basics. Start with, like she said, ETFs. Uh, you know, invest through your work. And Lisa also has a video on how to invest for your kids. So check that out. If you guys have kids, check that out. Because if you get them started young, you've really set them up for life. And it's a fantastic idea.
Yeah,
So,
that's actually my topic for tonight. I'm going to be doing a live in the for the Discord, and that's what it's going to be.
oh, nice.
529 and UTMA for the
Right.
kids is the main focus of that one. So, yes.
Very cool.
Something
Check that.
something
Thanks for having me up, Lisa. Appreciate that.
all right. You dropping off, Nora?
Well, I thought you were ending the stream. I'm sorry.
No, I wasn't ending. I was just
Oh,
saying that just giving a
super chat. Word
little
up.
teaser. But yeah, I am coming up on an hour, so pretty soon. But guys, if you have any questions or comments, drop them now, and we will try to get to them while Nora is still up here on the panel with me. I see Joe was dropping VU. Yes, another option to get exposure to
Joe.
the S&P 500. That I am holding that one in my portfolio because I had not discovered SPLG prior, but another good one. And thank you for that super chat.
Super chat. The one. Thank you for coming. I've been trying to get super chat, aka Kevin, to buy stocks. One day. He's more into crypto though, and crypto mining, which is really cool to learn about. But
Yeah,
I can talk him into some stocks one day. I think he would be a good trader. I think he would be good investor. What's up, Crew Scratchers here?
what is that? What is Reddit? I need an update on Kevin must have invested into Reddit. That's one of his favorite things.
Yeah, he does use his Reddit thread a lot. He shares our videos on Reddit.
Okay, so who's saying this? Lisa is on point, and as a beginner, keep your portfolio small, no more than 5 securities.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also say that that's something like because people mention different investments to me, and I'm like, I can't invest into everything. I can't do AMD and Intel and Nvidia and Broadcom and it gets too much for me. And when I invest into something, I want to build it up a little bit. I don't want to just have one share of this and a half a share of that. And so I have to decide what sectors I want exposure to,
Right.
direct exposure to, and just choose that company and work on that. Everything else is I just have to, rely on the whole S&P 500 in order to have my quote unquote little piece of it. Cause my portfolio, I can't have 60 different things on there. It's not for me. I try to keep it concise and just focus on there. And then if there's a sector that I don't I don't feel that I have the space in order to get that direct exposure, it just has to be through the ETF too. So yeah.
Yep.
And sometimes I feel a little disappointed, like, oh man, Costco, Walmart, and Amazon, but I can't do it all. I can't do it all.
No.
So should I start? Okay, so Chandra's saying, so should I just start over? I'm not seeing any sizable gains. Chandra, let's set up a time to chat, and if you want to share some specifics as to what you're invested into, so I know your time frame and whatever you're comfortable with sharing, we can chat about that offline. But please reach out to me. Sometimes it takes time. We all have a different starting point. I always like to stress that. My daughter last week's show. So the Friday before last, we had gotten some news, and it was that Elon had bought $1 billion worth of Tesla shares.
Yeah.
And my daughter has Tesla, just
Nice.
5% in her portfolio. And I was when she had gotten off school that Friday, I sat down, we was taking a look at her portfolio, and I
Amazing.
think she was up 107% on her Tesla on that particular day.
Awesome.
And then by the next week, Monday, Tuesday of last week, she was up like 119, and then the next day it was like 122. So
Yeah, it's just printing money. It's insane. Like,
but
if you just buy your kid a share of Tesla, I mean, just do it, guys. Because, like, you imagine where Tesla's going to be in 5 years. Like, it's going to be insane with the robo taxi.
yeah.
It's just, at least get one share, guys. Get one
Mhm.
share. Because it's just fun to watch it. It's tricky to trade it, but it's fun to watch it grow, you know?
So I say all that to say that, yeah, my daughter's Tesla is up over 120%. My Google is up 94%, but everyone has a different starting point. Everyone, is investing at different times, on different days, at different price points. And so everyone's gains are going to be different. So it's not something that you can hear someone talking about a particular stock and think that you're going to get there, at,
Yeah.
at the same, you may not get to the percentage gain that they have achieved in a couple of years, depending on when they started. Like some people have really high gains on Apple, but they've been in Apple from 15 years ago, or 20 years back or something like that. So
That's
everyone has a different starting point. That's why I always try to mention that when I do my videos, as well as I try to, when there is, like we went through in April, significant dips, if I have the budget for it, I'm going to put more into investing at those times on
Yeah.
companies or funds that I truly believe can recover and will recover. So, what's the difference between, say, investing in Apple and S&P 500? Please excuse my ignorance. This is your green thumb sharing a question there. So the S&P 500 is the 500 top companies in the US. So when you invest into that, you're getting a little piece of those 500 companies. But when it comes down to the breakdown, Apple is going to be at the top of the list because when you invest into those funds, it's weighted by market cap, and market cap is the value of the company. So we already know the top four, probably right now: Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft, and Google. I'm guessing. I don't have that pulled up. So with that, you know that you're getting the highest percentage in those. So like you're saying, buying shares directly into Apple, that's all you have exposure to is Apple. And then the S&P 500, you're getting a high percentage of Apple, but a mix of those 500 companies. I hope that kind of gives you a little bit of an explanation. So when you invest into individual companies, you're going to get the volatility. You're going to get those swings, and it could be in a good way and it could be in a bad way. But you have to make sure that you're putting the right companies, or the companies that you feel comfortable with holding long term, into your portfolio because of the swings that they might have. Like earlier, Nora mentioned Rigetti Computing.
Yeah.
And that's one that's gone from $1 to $28 in 1 year's time.
Mm.
Now, you might think that sounds great, but it didn't just go in a straight shot. You didn't just buy it at $1 and every month it went up, 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 up until it got to 28. It didn't go like that. The chart
is a roller coaster, and a scary roller coaster because your money's stuck in it. So yeah. Now the thing is, if you don't sell, that's the thing. You have to not be tempted to sell your stocks because you always have that option. There's penalties involved, etc. But you have to have that discipline not to sell the stocks that you buy. You have to buy them and hold on to them, especially if you're a long-term investor. I know that life emergencies come up and everything, but hopefully, you don't have the need to tap into your investments, your long-term investments, you know.
Yeah, I haven't been, thankfully, in the position that I've ever sold my stocks in order to deal with some other issue that I was having. And that's why I always stress that you have to have an emergency fund. You have to have, potentially credit available to you. I don't want you to carry any high interest credit card debt or anything like that, but having a plan on how to use your credit is important so that you can have that balance of not looking at your investments that you want to build for the long term as the place to go to in order to deal with the car broke down, the roof is leaking, the whatever is going on. So
Yeah.
I definitely agree with Nora on that. And yeah, so that's all I really wanted to touch on today. And one more question, then we're going to wrap it up. Chandra's asking about margin accounts. Margin accounts is basically, how would you sum that up? Using your investment account, like borrowing in order to invest within your account. Is that a simple enough definition, or you think?
Yeah, if you're a new investor, very risky. I wouldn't recommend tapping into margin, especially not to trade. It's just too risky, guys. It's very, very risky. They'll offer you the money. They'll offer, even if you're a beginner, they'll let you have margin. But what it would take to pay it back, you're gonna kill your account doing that. I would just be careful if you're trying to use it to like borrow money to take a risk on a trade. I would not use margin for that.
I agree with Nora on this one 100%. It's not something that I'm interested in or comfortable in doing. And so I have it set up, but I did that because it was needed for me to have level 3.
Exactly.
And I want it. I have it available to me, but I don't use it.
Same.
And the only reason
margin to take a trade, never.
Yeah.
It's just too risky, guys. It's just don't use money that you don't have at that given moment. It's not worth it.
Yeah. And basically that's my personal preference because I know what my risk tolerance is. And yeah, it doesn't go to using margin for my trading and things like that. I have to work with what's within, the actual cash that I have. That's where my comfort level is when it comes to that. But yes, the only reason I have it is because it's needed to be tied into for other things, like some advanced trading options that I just like to have. I like to have like everything available to me just in case. So I wanted to have certain accounts available. Like I said earlier, I wanted to have a crypto account where I might be able to get into something more obscure. And it's all just to be ready, just to have that flexibility if there is something that I want to do. And sometimes time passes and I don't even use it, but I know that if the day comes and I want to do it, it's ready for me. And so just something I feel the need to have, going on as far as my investments. But yes, we are at an hour. Thank you so much, Nora, for popping up on last minute. And I'm not going to keep you anymore. Go enjoy the football game and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And I hope we do this again sometime soon with maybe more planning and what the topic even is. But I appreciate you and all your kind words about, everything. So
I'll definitely come back on again. All right, guys, have a good one. To give a thumbs up for Lisa, guys. I'll see you guys.
All right, let's see. Let's wrap it up. See you guys next week, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.